Okay, let's get into it. Stock market technical analysis. We're looking for profitable trade ideas using the charts to be our guide. All the information that we really need oftentimes is contained within the chart. So hopefully I'm able to provide some value to you guys, and we'll get right into the charts. Drop me a thumbs up if you're finding value. I do appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. If you're a private member in the private member group, let the others know the value that's in that group. Let them know if I'm doing a good job. I think that's important. Finally, if you're interested in learning this and how to read the charts, how to find high probability setups, how to put it all together into a complete trading strategy and plan, take my stock market technical analysis course. That course is designed to help teach you how to read the charts, how to have a trading strategy, how to put it all together. So link in the description for the private member group as well as the course. Let's get into the charts. QQ's crazy day today. Obviously, we're still in this kind of post-Fed, high volatility, whippiness. There's big swings in both directions, really. So what I see in QQ's, here's what I got, and here's what I'm going with. We have an uptrend line. We're looking at the hourly chart right now, but we have this uptrend line on the hourly chart. Recently, we started creating this bearish rising wedge. We broke down yesterday. That's a big impulsive breakdown or a sell signal. Today they gapped it up right into resistance, and then the selling showed up and we continued to sell down. Now towards the end of the day, they tried to ramp it up, still really couldn't recover the price action of today. So still ending the day, ending the day higher from the close of yesterday because we closed right there at the lows yesterday, but still starting to roll over. We were rejected at resistance. All right. This shows a little bit cleaner. If I look at the Nasdaq futures, I really like the futures chart on a little bit better. Here's the Nasdaq futures, and you can see it's the same look. It just shows a little cleaner. I've got negative divergence on the hourly chart there. Both momentum indicators shows negative divergence. So that's indicating that, okay, we're likely going to head lower. We have a bearish rising wedge pattern. We have a breakdown and a sell signal. That came yesterday towards the end of the day. And then all last night, they spent all night really ramping, trying to recover some of those losses. Today, rallied right into resistance. Okay, so again, this was former support. This was your former support here. All these reactions, all right, we broke with the sell signal. Today, ramped right into that level, which is resistance. Okay, key resistance. In the private member group, I talked about that right when I saw it, put it out there in a post for the private members, letting them know that this is resistance and we're likely going to roll over. Sure enough, that's exactly what happened, and that was good. Even if you took that as a day trade, good for, let's say about 1% or so. Now we've got this secondary kind of support line. That's really the flag. It looked like a flag from last night, but that was kind of like this flagging pattern. It's not a flag, but that's really where we're trying to hold. That's where they're trying to hold support now. So again, the bulls are trying to hold on to anything they can. It's clear, but we have a sell signal. So I would look for, at this point, maybe we get another bounce, but I don't know. I think we're going to roll over. Okay, head down towards about 12,610. And then there's another level right down there. It's about 12,521. So the Nasdaq futures is just a very clean chart. If I go back to the QQs, it will follow the same pattern. It's just not as clean of a chart, but it's okay. Again, there's your trend line, your breakdown, your back test, and rolling over. So next stop, I believe, for the Nasdaq futures or the Nasdaq 100 is about 304 on QQs. Good support there. You can see all the reactions that we had there. So I'd expect that's where the bulls will try to buy the dip again. And yeah, that's what I got on the hourly chart. On the daily chart, again, we put in that negative divergence recently on the daily chart. It's not confirmed yet, so I do want to point that out. Here's your negative divergence on the daily. We do have a new high. We had a new high just yesterday in the daily candlestick from your former high right there. Momentum is clearly much less. Not confirmed. So that's really the next thing I'd be looking for is, can we confirm this divergence? What do I need to confirm it? Well, here's your PPO. I'd like to see this do a bearish crossover like that to help confirm that. All right, so we'll just need a little more selling to get that PPO starting to point downward to confirm that divergence. And that is it on the triple Qs. All right, on the SPY, again, still battling it out. Here's your trend line, your bear market trend line. All right, been walking down that, broke out here, back tested, and now it's just chop zone. We're breaking through, and we're above it now. We're above the 200, but again, this is kind of day by day, really. Like one day we're up, next day we're down. It's very choppy, so need a little bit more data. I believe we're heading lower. Again, negative divergence on the daily chart right here on the RSI and the PPO, telling me that we're likely going to head lower. Small caps, IWM, back below the trend line here. There's your downward trend line, your bear market. This one broke out, back tested, rallied, faded, and back below the trend line. Choppy, kind of the chop zone, but yeah, still below that trend line. So we'll see which way this wants to resolve. Again, I'm anticipating it resolves to the downside. Okay, financials. XLF. Obviously, that's kind of the headline right now is the financials, so want to keep an eye on that. On the daily chart, some minor bullish divergence right here on the RSI. Nothing really there on the PPO, so not enough information to go off of. Sitting at, this is where support is at. You can see there's a cluster where they were buying it, kind of clustered it there, and we're there again. So obviously the bulls are trying to hold the financials in this area. I'm not so sure. I don't really have a trade on these right now. Maybe bear flagging. It is possible that it's bear flagging. You can kind of see you've got this flagpole, and then you're flagging out right here where you're just kind of drifting sideways. And, if this resolves to the downside, that's going to be pretty bad for the market in general. It's setting this up likely for a move. Oh, the move that I see as of right now is right in there. Somewhere right in there down to, anywhere from about 29 down to, somewhere right in there, 28. 29, 28 support zone would be the measured target if that's a bear flag. Semiconductors, not a whole lot of change today from yesterday. You can see here SOXX. We are still just kind of testing this resistance zone and continuing to diverge on the momentum indicators. So, we could pop higher. I think we could easily pop above and put in that divergence and roll over. We're in the area where I don't see too much more upside. Obviously, there's potential for a little more upside if it wants to, but I think that gets sold into. And, with the triple Qs in the position that it's at, then, this should sell down too. So that's really what I see. NVIDIA is kind of the one I believe that's really holding it up. And you can see not a lot of change today. We have this bearish rising wedge pattern here, and it's just barely trading up above the top of that wedge. You can see pretty weak price action. I mean, it gets sold into as it rallies, they're selling into it, and it really is basically just closing on resistance. It's close enough we can call it closing at resistance. So still looking for that impulsive move to the downside. We have divergence on the PPO. The RSI still has it, just barely. So again, I would expect the selling to start to show up very soon. If this wants to hold on to the divergence in the RSI, it needs to really start to sell down soon. Otherwise, it's going to burn through it on this daily chart. So we'll see. I'm looking for some downside on this one as well. CAT, you can see, still getting rejected. Was rejected yesterday at resistance. Sold down today, closing slightly lower. At one point, it was a lot lower, but closing basically still a lower close. So down we go, I believe, on that one. Healthcare, again, just same as yesterday. Just rejected right there at resistance. So, all right. I mean, this thing's tested it for 5-6 days. Should roll over soon. Whether that's it. We're just waiting for it to start to roll over. I don't have a whole lot else. I mean, obviously, you kind of know my thoughts on where I think things are heading. So we'll just continue this tomorrow to see if how that plays out. Okay, guys, drop me a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing. Catch you on the next one. Bye.